Raider Nation, it's mailbag time, and if you didn't join us during our live show, and remember, we go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. You can always give me a follow on Instagram, at Mitchell Renz 365. DM me your questions. I'm more than happy to answer them. This first one is coming in from Jeff ZZ707. I don't know how to pronounce it. Take Drake, but how do we get players to stop treating us like a retirement team? Take Drake, but how are you talking about Drake London in terms of the receiver out of USC? And I don't understand why you're saying stop treating us like a retirement team. I don't really think any NFL players treat the Raiders like a retirement team. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I haven't been catching up on that. I think maybe you're saying that because of all the one-year deals this past year, but that was more to do with the salary cap than anything else. Let's go to Max. What is going to be the biggest surprise this offseason, in your opinion? From a Raiders standpoint, I would say the biggest surprise would probably be, I know we talk a lot about Davante Adams, but if the Raiders were actually able to go out and get Adams, that would be a major surprise. Why he's the top receiver out there, I could actually see the Green Bay Packers trying to franchise tag him, and I know for a fact, if the Raiders went out and traded for Davante Adams, it would probably be the biggest show that I would do the entire offseason. Let's go to Dylan Reddick. You listed the Packers as the top team to trade for Carr. Why did you say this? So I went ahead and I saw this trade article from Paul Gutierrez, and I was like, well, Paul's making this trade between Russell Wilson and Derek Carr, and honestly, it was just a dumb freaking trade. And then there was another trade from ESPN about Carr going to Washington. I came up here and said that personally, I think the team that would be the most likely to trade for Carr would be the Green Bay Packers for two reasons. Davante Adams, it sounds like him and Adams want to play together, and the fact that Green Bay just went out and hired Rich Bisacia to be their special teams coach, I could see Bisacia telling Green Bay, hey, we're not going to have Aaron Rodgers, why not go out and try to get Derek Carr? I personally do not think the Raiders will trade Derek Carr. The only way I would trade DC is for 2 first-round picks, but I think the team that would be the most likely to trade for him would be the Green Bay Packers. So how about this question? I want you to scale it from 0 to 100. How confident are you that Derek Carr will be the Raiders quarterback in 2022? 0 being you don't think he's going to be the quarterback whatsoever. 100% you would bet your life on it that Derek Carr would be the Raiders quarterback week 1. For me, I probably would put this somewhere at like a 90%. I do believe that he will be the quarterback. I also know that Josh McDaniels is not a very easy guy to go ahead and trust from what he's done in his past. I am seeing a lot of 100s, seeing a lot of 99s, but I'm probably somewhere between 90, 95% that Derek Carr is going to be the Raiders quarterback in 2022. Let's go to Joey Ross, one of my OGs. Thoughts on Perrion Winfrey after winning Senior Bowl MVP? He could fill in that need for the Raiders have you searching for. So Sam's raising the roof right now. For those that don't know, Sam went to OU. And, yeah, I mean, this kid is an absolute mauler. And I like a lot of the times what you see from guys at the Senior Bowl because they can raise their draft stock quite a bit. The more and more research I do on Winfrey, the more and more I think that he could be one of these, I don't want to say late round sleepers, but definitely a dude who you can get in the later round, so you might be able to plug and play right away. Let's go to Daniel Keenan. Mitch, what did you think about A.J. Cole interview at Pro Bowl? Laughed my ass off. To be honest, I don't really watch a lot of player interviews, especially at the Pro Bowl, because a lot of times player interviews, they just tell you exactly what you want to hear, and they just kiss each other's asses. And then at the Pro Bowl is like the biggest waste of time I've ever seen. I just want, at this point, for them to take that Pro Bowl weekend and make it somewhat interesting in terms of, instead of doing the Pro Bowl, can we just take the 2 worst teams in the National Football League, pin them up against each other, and have them play for the number 1 overall pick? That's personally what I would rather. But I will say this, anytime A.J. Cole, he's a funny dude. I do know that, and I'd be curious to see what he had to say about Tom McMahon. Let's go to Phil. Could we sign Robinson and Chark for the same amount as Adams? Personally, yeah, you probably could bring in Allen Robinson and DJ Chark for the same amount that you'd pay Davante. Personally, I think Davante Adams gets somewhere between $25 to $27 million per year. Allen Robinson, I would say probably gets somewhere around $20 million a year. And then DJ Chark, I could see him actually taking like a 1-year prove-it deal. Go out and get somebody like DJ Chark. I mean, that's, if you would, I'd actually probably rather have Allen Robinson and DJ Chark match with Darren Waller, Foss Moreau, and Hunter Renfrow. than just going out and getting Davante Adams. The issue is, can you get both of those receivers? That remains to be seen. I do know this, man. There's going to be a lot of stuff that happens this offseason. To make sure that you never miss any videos around the silver and black, I want you to subscribe and turn on those notifications, whether it's a trade, whether the Raiders go out and sign a big-name guy like Robinson, Davante Adams, or DJ Chark. Hell, one of the most famous videos I've ever done was when the Raiders went out and signed Kenyon Drake. I promise you we will have tons of fun here this offseason, but I also want to make sure that you guys know that you're a part of the show, so please hit that sub button and turn on those noties. Let's go to Brian from New York City. Patriots don't usually have that big one wide receiver. Why not draft one and spend on a cornerback and right tackle in free agency? You're right. The Patriots have actually been a team that usually they don't go out and spend big at the wide receiver spot, but they've also tried to draft a lot of one wide receivers, and it's been an absolute disaster. So I don't know if I would trust this new unit to be able to come in here and make the number one pick being a wide receiver because they've missed on it so often in New England. I think for the Raiders, yes, they are a 10-win team, but they still have a lot of holes. And one of the things that I've always said is you try to go out and take the best player available, but you also take the best player available at the biggest need. That's kind of what I hope that the Raiders do at the draft instead of just reaching on a player like they've done the past 3 seasons. All right, let's go to X-Wing. What do you think is going to happen? Also appreciate the super chat. To Alvin Kamara, and do you think Josh McDaniels will try to get Nelson Aguilar? He did all right for us, but I don't know he did with the Pats. So first we'll talk about Alvin Kamara. Personally, it's pretty mind-blowing to me that Alvin Kamara had his whole thing go down on Saturday. The cops were aware of the situation, that he was allowed to play in the Pro Bowl. I also see a lot of people saying, oh, the Raiders are NFL people should stop going to Vegas. Vegas should not be blamed for immature millionaires not knowing what to do in grown-up situations. So let's just say that. I'm not going to blame Vegas. I'm going to blame adults making bad decisions. In terms of Nelson Aguilar, I actually talked about this last week. If the Raiders were to go out and trade for Aguilar, it would cost them $9 million because of the way his contract sits at. I mean, if you're telling me right now I could get Nelson Aguilar on a 1-year deal for $9 million, give up a 5th-round pick for it, I'd be somewhat interested in that. Let's go to Mikey Jose. The Giants could trade away James Bradberry. What would you give up to make it happen? So James Bradberry is a very interesting name. I do know he's scheduled to make a lot of money for the Giants, but if they go ahead and, let's say, move on from him, the Raiders would owe Bradberry somewhere around $13 million. So $13 million, he's a guy that wants to get rid of. How about like a 2022 5th-round pick? And right now one of the biggest needs for the Giants is an edge rusher. You're not going to be able to give up Carl Nassib, so I'll say Malcolm Kuntz, a 5th-round pick, and then that gets us James Bradberry. So, Sam, when you can make that, please do. Sick. All right, so the Raiders get Bradberry, the Giants get Kuntz, and then that 2022 5th-round pick. So right now the Raiders have 2 5ths. It would be like 149 overall and 150 overall. I would say give up 150 overall, that we have the pick in front. So essentially a 3rd-round pick from last year and then a 5th-round pick to go out and get one of the best cornerbacks in the league. The reason why the Giants would do this, they need to clean cap space because they only have about $2 million left. So who wins this trade? Type Raiders or type Giants? Yes, I understand you're giving up on Malcolm Kuntz, but the Giants would not take on Cleveland Ferrell's contract, and they would not take on, let me think, Carl Nassib's contract either. So definitely interesting situations here. But who wins this trade, Raiders or Giants? Go ahead and let me know. Let's go to this next question coming in here from Zornell Malone. If the Raiders, with a 3-4 defense, their biggest need will be a nose tackle, Georgia tackle. Yeah, so I've actually said this a few times on some past shows that the Raiders, if you could go out and get Georgia tackle, you're talking about Jordan Davis, who I think he's actually big enough and athletic enough to play in a 3-4 or 4-3. He's, as it stands right now, my number one most realistic target that the Raiders could get at 22. Defensive tackle is a major need, and the Raiders have 5 DTs that are free agents as it stands right now. Let's go to Daniel Rodriguez. Rumor is Dallas may cut Amari Cooper. If that happens, should the Raiders pursue Cooper, maybe cheaper than Adams? I mean, Amari Cooper would be much, much cheaper than Davante Adams. Let's get that straight. And I personally don't really want Amari Cooper for the same reasons why I wouldn't want Antonio Brown, for the same reasons why I wouldn't want Trent Brown. They didn't want to play for us. And yes, the rumors around Amari Cooper getting cut are very, very real. Now, Super Bowl 56, guys, it is this week. I am super stoked. I can't wait to watch the game. So type LAR for the Rams or CIN for the Cincinnati Bengals. I want you to go ahead, let me know who you're betting on, and you know what I'm going to say, put your money where your mouth is. Go to chatsports.com/Raiders. Use promo code Raiders125. That's going to get you a 125% deposit bonus. So if you put down $100, you're actually going to get $125 for free to bet with. And on top of that, we're also going to get you guys a free Raiders jersey. Now, this is for first-time BetUS buyers. So if you're a new buyer here, you're a new user at BetUS, that's the only way you're going to get a new jersey. If you've been around at BetUS for a while, sorry, it doesn't apply to you. But I got Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, and Josh Jacobs jerseys all in stock. So take advantage of the deal. You got to do it before the Super Bowl happens. And then email me your account number, jersey@chatsports.com, okay? Jersey@chatsports.com. Send me your account number. If all you heard was free Raiders jersey, I'll walk you through the details. You just got to send me an email down there below. Let's look at these Super Bowl MVP odds. You got Stafford and Burrow, the top two highest. Cooper Kupp at plus 550 is really, really intriguing to me. Honestly, man, even Aaron Donald at plus 1,400. Jalen Ramsey was like, I believe, plus 2,500. Usually it goes to the quarterback position, but we've also seen in some somewhat recent years that it can go to a defensive player, it can go to a wide receiver. So all I'm saying is this: go ahead, bet on who you think is going to win the Super Bowl, and let me know who you think is going to win Super Bowl MVP. Let's go to Hector Gaming. Should target T.Y. Hilton. Personally, I'm going to pass on T.Y. Hilton. He was once a very good skilled receiver, but father time is slowly creeping in on him. So I think T.Y. Hilton is basically the same realm of what you got out of Deshaun Jackson, and I'm kind of good on Deshaun Jackson. Let's go to LC Raider. Appreciate the super chat. Mitch, of all our rookies from last year, who do you predict makes the biggest growth into year two? Fingers crossed on Leatherwood. That's the answer there. You're hoping that Alex Leatherwood makes the biggest jump in. When you saw how bad Leather was in the beginning of the year, and he slowly got better and better and better, and one of the biggest reasons why I have right tackle as the biggest team need for the Raiders is because you need to go ahead and put somebody solid next to Leatherwood, which obviously helps him grow. So the answer to this is yes, I hope it is Alex Leatherwood makes the biggest leap forward. Let's go to A-Rod. If the Raiders sign Allen Robinson and Chris Godwin and get a solid right tackle like Moses, who do they target in the draft? Maybe a cornerback. Now, you're not going to go out and get Robinson and Godwin both. I'm sorry, the Raiders will not go ahead and do that. It's just too much money at the wide receiver position. In terms of Morgan Moses, he's my top right tackle that I would love for Las Vegas to go out and get. There are some good cornerbacks available. It's just going to be determining of who ends up falling. There's only 4 corners in this year's draft that I would draft in the first round. Derek Stingley Jr. from LSU, Ahmad Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati, Elam probably from Florida, and then also Trent McDuffie from Washington. Those are the only 4 corners that I would take in the first round. Let's go to Omaha Raider. Will the Raiders re-sign Casey Hayward? I love Hayward, and I respect the hell out of Hayward. Unfortunately, though, I would be shocked if the Raiders brought back Hayward because of Patrick Graham's defensive scheme, and Hayward would be smart to honestly just follow Gus Bradley to the Indianapolis Colts. So as it stands right now, I will go ahead and type my N for no. But you guys know what I'm going to say, right? This show's about the nation. It's not about me. We got almost 1,400 people watching this bad boy live. So go down in the comments right now. And will the Raiders re-sign Casey Hayward? Want you to type Y for yes, or want you to scroll on down and type N for no. To make sure you never miss any news, any rumors, give me a follow on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. If you want to check out my IG live that I did earlier in the week, you can go ahead and check that out. If there's any questions that I missed from today's show, don't be afraid. Slide in those DMs. Just be patient, though. I do, believe it or not, get a lot of DMs, and I will get to you sooner or later. Let's go to Sir Lister of Smeg. How many years do you think Josh will have to get Raiders to a yearly contender? How many years for Josh McDaniels? I mean, if I was Las Vegas, I would give him 3 years. I would give him 3 years to try to get the Raiders back to being contenders because they just won 10 games. You're already technically a contender. And then there's a difference between being a playoff contender and then a Super Bowl contender. When you're in a division that has Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, you want to see the flip to Super Bowl contender really quick. So I'm going to give Josh McDaniels 3 years. Let's go to Casey, the Sledge Storyteller. Hey, Mitch, just how much input do you anticipate McDaniels would have in the new OC and the offensive scheme? I mean, he should have almost all the input, right? I mean, he's the offensive-minded guy. You decided to bring him in as a head coach, so he's going to have a lot of say when who decides going to be the next OC for the Raiders. What up, Chris Smith? I know I have my aunt. Her name's Chris Smith, and then I also played baseball with a Chris Smith. How many of our free agents will sign this offseason? How many of our free agents will sign this offseason? So you're talking about, of the 26 free agents we have, how many will come back to Las Vegas? Man, I'd have to sit down and really digest this. I will more than likely end up making a video about this. But off the top of my head, if you can go ahead and bring back, I don't know, I'll say 6, 7, it's probably pretty good. But also, like, you're not going to get back some of the guys who, like, you're not going to get back Casey Hayward. I'm sorry, that one would be pretty shocking to me. But I'll say 6. But I gotta actually sit down and do the numbers. Let's go to B-Ray, last one on the first mailbag. Do you think McDaniels will trade down round 1 or 2? Personally, I would love if McDaniels traded down. I know a lot of people don't like the whole trade down method, but in my mind, if I can get more picks, I'm all about it. And realistically, when you think about pick 22 to 32 or 33 in this year's draft, not that big of a difference. But, yeah, I'm on board for trading down.